Hi, this is Audra Lizaralde with 29 Realty Group, and I'm here with attorney Jolee Vacchi. And we are going to talk about if you are in the unfortunate situation of needing to get divorced and what to do with property. Good morning.
Good morning, Audra. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and to answer the questions of if I happen to get divorced, what do I do with my house? Like, can I keep my house? Do I have to sell my house? Like, what happens? What do I do next?
So there's lots of different scenarios where how this could play out. But if we just take the common situation where there's one marital home and let's say that there's a husband and wife that live there, it doesn't matter. I think this is important to point out. It doesn't matter whose name the deed is in. Everything, all property that either party owns is going to be subject to equitable distribution during the divorce. So let's say there's a marital home. There's a couple of common scenarios that could play out. One person could decide to stay in that house and there could be a buyout situation. And how that usually happens is the person who's staying in the house will refinance the mortgage into their own name. They'll have a quick claim deed executed to put it in their own name as well. And then the person who's leaving will get a buyout amount from that refinance. So that's one scenario that we see. Another one is that both parties want to sell the home. So they will list it on the market and they'll decide in their separation agreement how the equity is going to be split. So that's another one. A lot of people want to know like what happens if one person wants to stay and one person wants to sell. So they could do a buyout in that situation. And sometimes we have appraisals conducted to determine what a fair market value is. If there's an appraisal and one person can't agree or there's a disagreement about the amount, then what will happen is you go to court, each side will say, I think it's worth this much. I think it's worth that much. And there is a possibility that the judge could force the sale of the home if the parties don't agree on an amount. So it really does benefit you to try to work out an amount on your own that you can not be subject to that forced sale by the judge. But yeah, that's kind of what we usually see is a buyout or a sale and sometimes a forced sale.
Thank you so much. So my
Yeah.
next question is, where in my divorce process can I buy another home? Like, does the divorce need to be final before I can buy? Can I buy in the middle?
Yeah. So if you're going to be the person who's leaving the marital home, a lot of times that person will rent for a little while or will stay with family, kind of have some kind of temporary housing situation. But we do see sometimes that spouse will want to purchase another property. And you're going to want to talk to an attorney if you're in this situation, because if you purchase that house, then that house, even though there's a divorce pending, is still going to be considered part of the marital estate and needs to be divided in the divorce. So let's say you buy it at a really good price and you have some instant equity in that home. That equity could be, shared with your spouse that you're now divorcing. So in that kind of a situation, you would want to talk to an attorney. You'd want to agree to some kind of a stipulation that says this home and all of the equity is going to stay with that one owner and won't be subject to the equitable distribution. You just don't want to do it willy-nilly. And then also there's another thing to consider is that when a divorce is pending in family court, there's automatic restraining orders that are in effect. And so neither spouse are supposed to make major purchases without agreement of the other. So you could also be in potential violation of a contempt. So in that situation, I would definitely advise you to talk to an attorney.
Thank you, Jolie. This is great advice. I am going to put Jolie's contact information at the end of this video and also my contact information if you are looking to sell or buy or any other property advice, not divorce advice. But I do thank you again for your time.
Of course. Good chatting with you. Thanks, Audra.